Sports. Alright guys, trying to stop myself from catching feels over here. So, time to upgrade our brakes. For the OGs, way back when I started this channel, you might have remembered I had a set of Stop Tech 4-piston racing calipers, whatever, big brake kit. So, funny story with that. I went to go install them. However, I've had 3 different brake setups on this car, and during the last one, my noob didn't use a line wrench on the brake fitting, and I stripped it completely. So when I went to go install the Stop Techs, I could not get that brake fitting off. So never installed them. Later on, a friend I know, wanted to buy those brakes. He posted up want to buy ad for them. I said, I have a set, give me this much. He said okay. It's like, oh, okay. So I sold them because I couldn't install them. So now, you know, another set of these brakes came up, and now we're gonna finally upgrade our brakes on my car. And what we have here is so on the car I had first originally the stock 2-piston calipers GSX brakes. Then I upgraded to the Baer Track Pro kit. Then I went back to stock brakes but with upgraded pads. And now we're going to this. So here we have, as you can see, another set of Baers. These are Baer, I think it's like a racing or track kit, whatever. I'll put the link, whatever it's called. And so what this is a 2-piston caliper with a 13-inch rotor. And if you guys, for some of you, you know, who are interested in other cars, you guys might recognize this caliper. That's because this caliper is made by PBR, and this caliper actually comes on a lot of different cars. So this comes on Corvettes, Cobras, Mach 1s, and some Mustangs. So what Baer did is they got a hold of PBR, and I guess they made like some sort of contract where instead of saying Corvette here, or Cobra or Mark 1, it says Baer. So this caliper is very common, and it's actually a really good caliper. I like, if you know Cobras and Corvettes are running them, it should be good enough for my 2G. But don't think you can go and find these calipers, install it on your car, because you need these brackets, and these bolt on to, hold on, this is the second piece bracket, so that goes there, or more likely here, and this goes to the car. So yeah, 2-piston calipers, bigger calipers with 13-inch rotors, cross and drilled. These are not 2-piece like the Stop Tech. This is a 1-piece design, so not as good, but still an upgrade from what we got. And we got stainless steel brake lines here as well. These are, I think, I got these from Extreme PSI because they come with new hardware and everything, so that was a plus. And we are going to be running, here we are, EBC Reds. These are more track-oriented brake pad, which is kind of what I want. And I've been reading good reviews about these, so we're gonna run them, see how it goes. If not, we can change up the pads. So that's for the front. So we got Baer track kit, 2-piston, 13-inch rotors, and EBC Reds. And for the rear, pretty much same thing going on. We got more EBC Reds. If I can get a set out. Here we go. We're keeping the stock rear calipers that come on the GSX. Might upgrade them down the road to Evos, but for now I'm gonna stick with this. And then we got EBC replacement rotors. Yay. Oh, what? I thought these were vented, but I guess not. Whatever, we'll just run these, see how it goes. And so that's our brake upgrades for the GSX. I do have brake fluid as well, but that's outside. So let's go show you the fitting that I got to deal with and install this stuff. All right, I'm gonna skip the boring spots, take the wheel off, take the lug nuts off, blah, blah, blah. All right, now we are here to the brake line. As you can see, this brake line fitting is stripped to the max. Now, I got it off, and that is thanks to no line wrench. This is what you're supposed to use. I didn't use this. I used just a regular wrench, and it stripped it like that. So do not use regular wrenches for brake lines. That's why they make line wrenches for this specific application where it wraps around it, yada yada. However, I stripped it so bad that even a line wrench wouldn't work. So my plan was to cut this line off and get a brake flaring tool, which I have, and then, you know, installing a new one. However, thanks to the magic of Snap-on USA, these freaking flank drive plus wrenches are amazing. I'm usually not one for Snap-on, guys, because I'm not a professional and I think this stuff is way overpriced, but I get it. I am a true believer of Snap-on wrenches. I don't know why no one else has thought of this idea. Those lines right there, as you can see in this wrench, they grab on to strip bolts and they do not let go. And so this was the only wrench that was able to get this off. But now we actually have this line fitting off. So my dilemma here is, do I replace this like a good smart person would, or do I just reinstall it and let future Daniel deal with that problem? And I'm leading towards future Daniel leading to that problem. But let's forget all that and let's actually start working on the brakes now. So these are your stock 2G GSX calipers and rotors. I think it's like an 11-inch rotor with a 2-piston caliper, and pretty decent. I guess with good brake pads they can stop this huge hunk of junk, but yeah, like I said, with my power these are way underpowered. At my power level these are way underpowered. So what I'm trying to do is replace these with, you know, those bigger and better brakes. So what we got to do is pretty much, if you were just replacing the caliper, you would just take off these bolts. However, we're replacing the whole unit. So there's bolts somewhere right here on the knuckle. I'm gonna take that off and slide the whole caliper off with the line. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, and just like that, 2 bolts, caliper is off. And brake line's already loose, so that whole thing just came off one unit. Now we can go ahead and pull this off, our tiny rotor, and we can compare it to this. There you have it. It's like 11-inch to a 13-inch. And what else did I tell you? Oh, honestly, if you guys are not trying to be, you know, super OEM, I would get rid of these dust shields, because all they do is trap heat. They're meant to, you know, keep that clean over there, but who cares? Race car, so I'm gonna remove this. But now all we gotta do is the reversal. So we're gonna put the new rotor on and then bolt up the bracket and then the caliper. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, took some fiddling around since I don't have instructions. I'm just going by trial and error, but I got them mounted now. So got the rotor in place and I got all the bracketing in place. So that goes on there, the bracket goes on there. Pretty self-explanatory. So now we can go ahead and mount the brake pads to the caliper and then slide the caliper over. All right, it is installed now. Again, First time doing this, so it took some fiddling around, getting the brake pads, you know, correctly, and then the cotter or whatever pin to hold them in place, yada yada. But they're in now. So now all we gotta do is install this brake line, stainless steel baby, and put on the new fittings, and we should be good with this side. Alrighty, one down, one to go. Stainless steel line is now in place and routed all properly. And I've decided to make it future Daniel's problem, so good luck with that, Daniel. Hopefully that bolt comes off again. And if anything, flank drive plus, baby. Alright, and now we got it with the wheel installed. Not bad, not bad. But on the real talk, I need to get new wheels. Alright, so that side's done. Let's go get the other side and bleed them. Alright, other side is installed. I also took the time, you know, to gold wrap the brake line, since I won't have any dust shield here. Just extra protection from heat from the rotor. But that's pretty much it. Here, we're gonna go ahead and install the rear rotors and brake lines, and then we'll go ahead and bleed everything and finish it off. Alright, time for the rear Z's. Fairly simple. That's what a good brake line fitting is supposed to look like. And you're supposed to use a line wrench, and easy peasy does it. Boom, boom, breaks it off, no problem. See? So, do as I say, not as I do. Use line wrenches for those. For the rear, it's just like the front. There's 2 bolts. One right here, and then one down here somewhere, right here. Hopefully you can see that. But yeah, so we're gonna take those 2 bolts off. The whole caliper assembly will slide off with the brake line, and we'll pull this. Oh, make sure your e-brake is off, because you won't be able to remove this, because that's how the e-brake locks on. It presses against this rotor. So let's go ahead and remove this and show you what I'm talking about. And just like that, old rotor and caliper are off. Good time to check your shoes, make sure you got life left. I got I would say 50% left, so I'm gonna leave these on. Worry about it later. I love giving future Daniel problems. Lines off as well. So we're gonna take these pads out and put in the EBC reds, and then put in the new rear rotors and stainless steel lines, and then bleed everything. And for the brake line, it's a simple 17 mil. It's probably a good idea to have one of these ratcheting wrenches, because you can just slide it over and have a good firm grip all around, so you can avoid stripping it. But yeah, 17 mil, take that off. And voila, we have bye-bye stock line. Hello, stainless steel line. Okay, pads are in. Stainless steel line is in. Came with these little backing plates to put on the actual pad. Little stickers. Now rotor is in. All we gotta do is re-bolt everything, and we should be solid. Okay, everything's installed. Stainless steel brake line now in. New hardware, yada yada. New brake pads, new rotors. These brake pads are actually really thick, and this rotor can barely move, so breaking these in should be interesting. But enough talking. Let's go do the other side and finally bleed the brakes. Alright, both brakes have been installed. We are now about to bleed them, and there's actually a sequence to use when you bleed brakes. The sequence is you want to start with the right rear first, then you want to move on to the front left, then the rear left, and then the front right. So we're going to be following that sequence, and we're going to be using StopTech STR660 .4 racing brake fluid. So this is gonna, you know, withstand more heat and be able to get tracked without boiling the brake fluid. So I'm gonna make sure this is always full at all times, and we're gonna start bleeding.